It's a game day Friday for the Arizona Coyotes, who head on over to Southern California to face their former division rivals, Anaheim Ducks. Last time they faced them earlier this season. It did not go well for Arizona. Maybe they can flip the tide this time around. We'll talk about that game on today's episode of Locked On Coyotes.
You're Locked On Coyotes, your daily podcast on the Arizona Coyotes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Robyn Leaño. Pavlock right beside me on this Friday. You heard me say that. It is December 17th. Arizona Coyotes play the Anaheim Ducks today in Anaheim. I almost feel like, Carl, it's a precursor for myself going to be going from Arizona to the Orange County area in just a couple of days from now.
Sure.
But you know, they just got the head start.
Yeah. You do have like your travel schedule weirdly is lining up with the Coyotes in some interesting ways. It's funny to see it happen.
I mean, we said that. I don't think we said it like actually during the podcast, but I said that when I leave the Bay Area, they're facing the San Jose Sharks. Like, why?
Yeah, it's crazy. I guess like just because there's 3 California teams, odds are kind of in your favor, but it's funny that it's working out that way.
It is really funny, but but let's get to this game though. Last time they faced the Ducks, it did not go well. It was actually a really bad game. Like I thought, like I think you and I both kind of thought, like at the time, I was like, oh, the Ducks, they're not that good. I think even though they were still powering through, it's like, oh, we're winning a lot of these off of luck. Really, this Ducks team isn't that good, and then they just
kept winning.
Yeah, and not only that that was a domination effort against the Coyotes. Like it was just like what they would do. The Coyotes had no chance against the Ducks their last matchup, the last meeting.
Yeah, it was definitely rough, and it's not like the Ducks have gotten worse in the past couple of weeks. It's definitely Coyotes are going to be going into a tough one.
They will be going into a tough one. Let's even mention this too. Is they're going to be missing some players probably.
Yep.
Not probably. They will be missing some players because they got quite a few who entered the NHL's COVID protocols.
Yep.
Frustrating stuff there.
Yeah, especially Jay Beagle is one, as well as Lawson Krause. The team just got Beagle back from injury. It feels like they really missed him on the in the faceoff circle. Like they are gonna miss Krause's physical presence. So these are gonna be 2 pretty big losses. Like I think the only ones who would be more so would be like if Clayton Keller or Shane Gostisbehere had to leave.
Those would be major. Krause obviously is one that is an unfortunate one. You know, I've always thought, at least even especially this year, Krause is he's a presence on the ice, and he's really helped the Coyotes team, build its competitiveness is what they can do. But yeah, you're right. Like we're just be glad it's not Keller or Gostisbehere, because that would have just been like, all right, just this. We were already kind of like tossing this season aside, but at that point, we were just like, nope, we're done.
Yeah, and let's be real. I really hope the Coyotes don't have a massive spread like we've seen with some of the other teams.
Oh yeah,
Because could you imagine if Phil Kessel's Ironman streak broke because he was on COVID protocol? That would just suck.
I mean, if it gets to enough of a spread, like the Calgary Flames, where the entire team essentially has it, um, then they just shut down the games. They just
Yeah.
shut down. They just pause those Coyotes games. Like they said, like what the Flames are gone for like the what until after Christmas.
Yeah. Uh, what is it? Montreal played without fans. The Islanders have missed some games. Like, it is crazy to see. I just like, especially when you're looking at something like Kessel's Ironman streak. Like, that's a cool thing. I don't want that to end because of COVID protocol. Like, and Kessel seems like the kind of guy who wants to make sure that that streak goes as long as possible too.
Oh no, that like I think the Coyotes will try to make sure that Iron Man streak will remain untouched.
Yeah, definitely.
They'll do what they can because I mean I can only imagine what it would be like if they let that they lose their grips.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
And I mean, in other injury news, Christian Fischer, he was skating at practice yesterday, so not sure if he is close to returning. If Kraus and Beagle are going to be missing time, they could certainly use Fischer coming in and stepping up.
Yeah, Fisher would be good. Obviously, you were worried. We are definitely worried about the f- the fact that he didn't return for the most of the game, and like even that he didn't like he got injured early on in the previous game and didn't return. She's like, oh, it's concerning. So it's good that he practiced. Maybe that makes us believe, and obviously this is speculation rather than actual information. Maybe they're just all right. Let's just let him rest it out. You know, just put him in
Yeah,
an ice bath and let's like let him rest it out. We like it could. It's fine. He's probably fine, but let's not aggravate anything. Let's give him a little bit more. Just like use, let's let him rest for a
yeah.
day or two, and then get him back out.
I mean, we didn't know what went wrong with Fisher. Just listed as an upper body injury, so like it could be something relatively minor. They just need him to get like maybe
Like
a couple of days off. Could be
it could
something serious.
like an upper body injury, like upper body injury, something of that minor. Could even be something as minor as like I don't know, um, a migraine headache, um, or just even just like muscle spasms in your upper and like upper
Yeah.
body, which these are athletes. You don't know some of the stuff that they go through.
Uh, I remember I fell skateboarding once and I ended up smacking my elbow on the cement, and I couldn't like really extend that arm for a couple days. But like once that was done, like and I was like better, it would like went away like immediately. Just sometimes it takes some time. Like depending on what he got hurt, if he's able to practice, that's a good thing.
It is a good thing, and especially because you're gonna have players missing of COVID, as we mentioned earlier. So you know, the best you can do is what you can do. Because uh, I really just don't want to see a overreaction and just a call ups from Tucson because like, oh, bring you up, let's bring you up, let's bring you up. Then that just messes the mojo of everything.
I mean, Tucson's already had what half their blue line taken up. There's only so much they could do. But hey, it could give us a chance to maybe get another look at Jan Unique. I feel like he'd be a good player to call up if you're looking for like a Kraus type.
Yeah, heck, and let's also say this too. Like Hudson Fashing held his own on his very short period up. He's like
Yeah.
up for a game and then back down and up for a game, but like you can use someone of Hudson Fashing back up again. It's to fill those bottom 6 minutes.
I mean, it's important to remember Barrett Hayton was a call up. Like I don't know if he was really expected to be still up. I think when we when he first came up, we were like, maybe a couple games and send him back down, and he's just fit the role.
He has fit the role, so maybe they'll find that person in Tucson again, and then it just creates more roster controversy because when other players start coming back from COVID protocols or injury, you're just like, oh, now what do we do?
Gotta earn that spot.
Absolutely. Hey, but we still got more to get to on today's episode of Locked On Coyotes. We got to just continue this preview. We're going to talk more about what to expect in today's Arizona Coyotes versus Anaheim Ducks game. Before we get to any of that, though, let's get a quick word from Carl.
So, holiday season's coming up, and I actually just ordered Omaha Steaks for my dad this very day that we're recording. Need to get something for him from like myself, my brother, my sister. This is kind of what we decided on because, with the holidays right around the corner, finding the perfect gift is always tricky. And Omaha Steaks makes it easy to send friends and family an unforgettable gift guaranteed to be loved. Go to omahasteaks.com and enter NHL into the search bar to order. The perfect gift package. Um, for $99.99, you get 24 entrees like the world famous bacon wrap filet mignons, chicken breast, sides, desserts, and so much more. Use the promo code NHL and you can get an additional 8 Omaha steak burgers free with your order. We've all heard the reports about shortage and shipping delays, so don't wait. Order the perfect gift package today at omahasteaks.com and you'll receive 8 free burgers when using the promo or when entering the code NHL. Achieve gifting greatness with Omaha Steaks. Incredible flavor, incredible value, and 100% guaranteed. omahasteaks.com, keyword NHL.
And I'll let you guys know today's episode brought to you by Built Bar. Grab the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar, or even better than a candy bar. Yes, I am talking about Built Bar. Full of so much holiday goodness, rich with decadent flavor, covered in chocolate, but amazingly low in calories, sugar, net carbs, and fat. But also high in protein. You get the best of both worlds, delicious and healthy. So many flavors, you'll have a hard time choosing. Where you go raspberry or mint brownie, cherry or double chocolate, cookies and cream or peanut butter. Built Bar gives you that extra fuel you need to bust down those mall doors and battle all those holiday shoppers. Or if you're just standing in endless shopping lines, Built Bar can give you that extra something to keep you going. So throw one in your jacket or your purse. You'll never know when you're gonna need it. Want to cozy up with something warm? Here's a holiday secret. Dip your Built Bar into a piping hot cup of cocoa. Let it melt a little bit. Give your beverage a little bit of that Built Bar flavor. Plus, you'll have a nice melty Built Bar to go with it. Just be sure to have a couple napkins on hand because that chocolate will get a little melty on there. Um, but let's go ahead and I want to let you know how you can go ahead and try it yourself. Go to built.com and use the promo code LOCKED15. You get 15% off your order. Once again, that is the promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. Let's continue this episode of Locked On Coyotes. We're previewing this episode or this game tonight, Arizona Coyotes versus Anaheim Ducks. And let's just keep going, Carl. The Arizona Coyotes are on a 6-game losing streak. And they've won. They've only what would you say 2-8, right? 2-8-0 on their last 10 games.
I believe so, yes. It's bad. Yep, 2-8-0 in their last 10.
See, that's just brutal. You don't let that. I mean, we knew this was going to be the case with the Coyotes. We knew they were going to go through stretches of bad games. We talked about that when they went on that 11-game winless streak to start the season, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, Carl, all these last games, you have a mix of two things. You have just overall terrible play, and then other ones, games in which they play pretty decent, but they make lethal errors that essentially throw the game to the next team. You have the Flyers game in which you just have a complete collapse in the second period, and even just simple turnovers. You have the previous game against the Rangers, where a late penalty. We talked about penalties. A late penalty gives the power play and of course the Coyotes being the worst penalty killing team in the league are gonna let it go. And it's just again simple, simple plays that could have been done, but terrible mistakes being made, and that's the reason why they're on this losing streak.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head. And the problem is, it is not going to be an easy night tonight because the Ducks are a good team. They're top of the Pacific. They have a top five power play. They have a top five penalty kill. So if anything happens, like the Coyotes can't afford to be taking mistakes, and they're gonna have a lot of difficulties in capitalizing on any kind of mistakes that the Ducks have. So this is just gonna be a very tough matchup. Like it's not impossible, but they're gonna need to play as close to perfect as they can.
And I think so far we haven't seen a game like that in a while, close to perfect. Because there's been always something wrong with the Coyotes, but the wins that they've had, yes, they've had some really good wins. Um, some were pretty lucky wins. I'll even give them that. I'll admit that. So,
Sure.
and I'll as an example, the Dave Melka shutout game. Like, was that lucky? Yes, because but at the same time, do I also give a lot of credit to Melka for saving all 46 shots? Well, absolutely. But not very often are you can have a goaltender save 46 shots in the game.
I know. I mean, in hockey, you make your own luck. That's one of the cliches that I always really liked, because it does seem to be the case. Um, this one, like they're gonna need a fair amount of puck luck, and they're gonna need to just simplify things, which is like kind of the one advantage I think they have. They're gonna be on the road. They they have like a losing streak going. They had a day off to practice to kind of prepare. If they play like just a nice simple road game, shut down Troy Terry, who has freaking 18 goals somehow. Not really sure how that happened. Like, then I think they can maybe get something, but it's gonna be tough. They are going to need to be as close to perfect as they can be tonight.
And and that's a big ask. With the personnel that they're going to probably put on the ice tonight, um, I just can't see a close to perfect game being fielded by this Coyotes.
Yeah, they just at this point they have no margin of error, and like you're not gonna win many games that way. Like humans make mistakes. Hockey is a game of mistakes. And one mistake can like snowball so easily. So like having a team play close to perfect, that's a really big ask. And I mean, can they do it? Who knows? Heck, maybe this will be a good trap game. Maybe the Ducks will just kind of be completely going into it thinking that they have it won already. I don't know. Could happen, but I don't have a lot of faith in that.
Coyotes have always had an issue with the Ducks, though, so that's
Yeah. I do often wonder, have they always had an issue with the Ducks or have they always had an issue with John Gibson?
yes.
To be fair, those have been synonymous for as long as I've been watching hockey, it feels like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But you know what? We still got more to get to on this episode of Lockdown Coyotes. We're gonna get to our Bet Online picks of the game. Before we get to any of that, though, quick word from Carl.
So, BetOnline has you covered all season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before as football season continues the march to the playoffs. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all the sports action this season. Head over to our new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today, and you can receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code LOCKEDON to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right down to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
And speaking of Bet Online, as you heard me say before, we are now into our final segment of the episode of this pregame episode. So that means it is time for our Bet Online picks of the game. It's time to read through the odds of this game, all the lines, and tell you what we think the betting picks should be. So the lines on betonline.ag. Arizona Coyotes are 1.5 underdogs at -115, plus 226 in the money line, -254 for the Anaheim Ducks. Total points at 5.5 points, plus 106 if you pick the over, -117 if you pick the under.
I'm not picking the Coyotes for this one. Not at all. To me, it's all a matter of what I think the score is going to be, and that's a tough one. I think this is going to be a 4-1 loss.
4-1 loss, so under and puck line for the Ducks,
Yeah.
which I'm with you on that. I think it's probably a very well put together prediction. 4-1 would make sense. Coyotes will have a hard time solving goaltending for the Ducks, as has been the case for a long time, as we
Yep.
mentioned earlier. And the Ducks are just gonna run circles like around this team right now. I just don't think there's any other way of putting it. This team is surprising. Like, it is surprising still, but they are one of the better teams in the Pacific Division. But they're there, and they deserve their respect for being up there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not going to be easy.
No, it's not. And I did think that the Coyotes played fairly well against the Rangers, but that was a Rangers team that was, in a bit of a slump. They just played the night before. Like, there was reasons to expect the Rangers to not have as great a game. And I thought the Coyotes played better than I thought they were going to. But still, like, this is just a completely different animal we're talking about. This is a Anaheim Ducks team that let's see, when did they last play? Wednesday. So they're just as rested as the Coyotes. They're just coming off a 4-1 win over the Seattle Kraken. Yeah, just don't have a lot of hope for the Coyotes in this one.
No, it won't be easy. But you know what? And I'll say this, though, Carl. It is those games that both you and I are kind of just like very pessimistic, but they pull together something really surprising.
It does seem to happen. I don't understand it, but there has definitely been times where, like, I will just look at a game and be like, no, this is absolute garbage.
I mean,
And
the obvious ones are kind of hard. Like, those are easy for us to pick.
yeah,
This one isn't necessarily an obvious one. It's just like, no, it just doesn't. The stars are not aligned for the Coyotes to even have a chance in this one.
yeah. I just, like, especially, like, I didn't think the Coyotes had a chance going into this one, like, when I woke up this morning. And then we heard that Beagle and Kraus are going to be missing. So that's
Mhm.
just, yeah,
That's one of the that's the kicker right there. That
yeah.
is the kicker. But both you and I have the same prediction essentially. Anaheim Ducks are going to take this one pretty easily. But you know what? Another step in the direction of number one.
Plus, I mean, we get to play the Kraken again next week. So just, like, this is going to be a tough road trip to start, but I think it'll maybe end a little bit better.
I think so, right? I mean, let's also say the Vancouver Canucks are also coming up pretty soon.
Yeah. So just kind of gotta, like, finish this one, and then we'll be more optimistic about the next couple games.
I think so. I think we can do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways, that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Coyotes. If you like what you heard, don't forget to leave a review, like, comment, subscribe if you hit to already. We're available everywhere you get your podcast, including on YouTube. Also, don't forget to interact with us on social media. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/LockedOnCoyotes, on Twitter at LO_Coyotes. I'm personally at Robyn_Leaño. Carl Pavlock is at Carl Pavlock FFH. Once again, interact with us, ask the question you might have. We can answer them right back or on a future episode of the Locked On Coyotes podcast. Thanks again, everyone, for listening to today's episode. Hope you guys are staying safe out there. Hope you guys are staying healthy. And don't forget to howl on.